of Langit Collective. Hey, Melisa, it's been 2 weeks since I saw you. How are you doing?
Hi, Laureen. Good to see you again. We're doing good. Busy,
Yes,
but
how's business?
not bad, not bad.
Well, that's good to hear. So you're going to be talking about how you take your village products online today, and I'm sure everyone is excited to hear what you have to say. Go right ahead and set up your screen.
All right. I think you need to help to enable the screen sharing.
Oh, sure. Let's get the Exabytes team to do that. Just give us a second. Have you had breakfast already?
Yes, a good cup of coffee.
Oh, just coffee?
Yeah, coffee to fuel the day.
All right. Okay, yeah, ask you to try now. Is that possible? Okay, there we go.
My screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So exactly like the last time, we've got 45 minutes, 30 minutes for your presentation, and the last 15 minutes will be for your Q&A. So for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions for Melisa regarding her topic, go ahead and leave that in the Q&A boxes right beneath your screen, and later on, I'll rebrief everyone once again. So Melisa, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Okay, hi everyone. Good morning. I'm Melisa Lim, co-founder of one of the co-founders of Langit Collective. A big thank you again to Exabytes for this opportunity to share our business journey, and also thank you for taking the time to join this session on a Thursday morning. So I'll just jump right in. So this sharing is really a collection of our learnings from working in the village and now venturing to sell online. So Langit Collective is a 4-year-old impact-driven food business. We bring chemical-free specialty rice and spices from rural villages in the Borneo Island, which is Sabah and Sarawak, to consumers over here in our urban markets in Kuala Lumpur predominantly. And by doing so, we create a fairer economic opportunity for our farmers as well. So just to show you the team, we're a very lean team of four co-founders. On your left, you can see there is Yong Ling, who looks after all the tech stuff in the company. Zi Xiang is our finance and also a farming officer on the ground. I oversee marketing as well as e-commerce, and Lillian is our CEO who also handles partnerships. So we came from very different professional backgrounds, and we met a few years ago while working for a local NGO. So none of us have any background in business, and we're just learning every day as we go in this venture. So the reason for Langit's existence was to solve our farmers' pain points. It's a bit of a reverse engineering when you consider how businesses are set up, where usually it's driven by solving a market's pain point, or you see an opportunity that you can present your value in the market. So we did it a little bit differently. We work predominantly with rural farmers in the states of Sabah and Sarawak, and we found that they share these 3 common problems, and these are the biggest limiting factor to their opportunities to be successful. So first of all, a lot of rural areas have very limited market access. So even if you have very good agricultural produce, you usually only have the closest town from your village to sell to. And then when you're there, the prices usually fluctuates, and it's sometimes worse than the stock market. Sometimes farmers even make a loss trying to sell their products in the market. And the biggest problem of them all would be the fragmented supply chain. So I'll illustrate what the supply chain looks like for us in terms of our specialty rice. So for the unfamiliar, this is how our rice supply chain looks like. When you work in rural, things tend to get a bit more complicated. So our rice products, for example, they get collected from a remote village, which needs to go through a 4-hour off-road journey just to get to the closest town of Lawas. And from there, those rice gets transported by land to the city of Kuching down south, and then it gets shipped to KL. So the whole process is very expensive and also inefficient. It can take up to 2 months door to door for our products to arrive from the village to KL. And there are also not many supporting industries that we can leverage on. So here's a glimpse of what it looks like during our procurement season. So as you can see, logistics is not a very pretty sight, but we leverage on existing local resources to make it work for us. So how did we function in a challenging landscape like this and still manage to sell from the village to now online? And to answer that question, I've segmented this session into 3 areas, which are how we build our foundation using baseline data, and then moving into our e-commerce exploration. And then I'll end it with how we use offline and online data to create a more seamless experience for our customers today. So in our earlier years as a business, we couldn't answer simple questions like, how much rice can you supply? Or how often can you supply? And because of that, we couldn't grow effectively. It was tough because we worked with a community of traditional rice farmers, and they don't have records. They don't record the kind of information that we need, and it's something that isn't readily available as well. So we had no choice, but we had to collect them ourselves. So our data collection process is a combination of drone mapping as well as a lot of on-ground farmers interview. With the help of friends with a drone, we managed to map the landscape of our rice farmers' fields in just 2 weeks' time. Without this, it would have taken us a couple of years walking in the field with a handheld GPS. So thank God for technology. Now with the map in hand, we could conduct very meaningful interview sessions with our farmers to understand their farming practices and learn about the different types of rice that they were producing and also the sort of volume that they are selling. So through our data mapping exercise, we also learn about our farmers' potential. So as you can see on this map, our farmers are currently farming only 50% of their available farmland, which means there's also a lot of room for them to grow further sustainably. And this is what the zoom in version looks like. We can see individual plots based on farmers' practices and also the sort of variety that they are growing. And now that with all this real information, it reflects the situation on the ground. And with all this collated, we can create very tailored solutions for our farmers as well as have a very clear go-to-market strategy. One of our mission is to help farmers transition into chemical-free agriculture. So a solution that we bring to our community is knowledge-based workshops. We've been running this annually for the last 3 years. So having all this baseline data helps us to monitor our growth, our impact, and also chart our future path together with the community. And this is how it translates into markets. So with real data, we are able to expand our market reach. We currently have presence in B2B as well as B2C channels. So for B2B, we work very closely with the F&B sector, people like luxury hotels, fine dining, and cafes. For the B2C segment, we have retail partners as well as other e-commerce partners as well. So now let's move from offline to online. We find selling online equally challenging as selling offline. You might feel the same way if you're running your own e-commerce platform as well. Plus, we are not selling something sexy. We are selling rice. Who even gets excited about buying rice online? So in this section, I'll share some of our experiences and also how we are still testing every single day. For a start, these are the 5 questions that we are continuously asking ourselves at different stages of growth. In the very beginning, we were really bootstrapping as a team of 4, from taking online orders to packing our own products, customer service, and everything else that comes in between. And when you grow from, say, 30 orders in a month to 30 orders a day, it becomes a lot more demanding. So we had to look for external as well as complementary solutions that fit our needs. As we grow, the operating costs for e-commerce grow as well because there are more services that's needed, and then there's also a new value that we wanted to provide to our customers. So for us, we decided to focus fully on our website as the testing ground as well as the main hub for all our e-commerce activities. Our goal is to get one channel right before we expand digitally because we're still a very small team. And on the operational side of things, we work with a fulfillment center. So we just need to send them our orders. They would do the packing and then deliver our products to the end consumers. So although this is an added cost, we didn't have to hire someone specifically to do the job. So it removed our pain points at a cost, but it was still affordable to us. Now that we are 2 years in, I would say that e-commerce would make sense if you have scalability in plan, considering all the costs involved in running this and at different stages of growth as well. So our e-commerce website was created 2 years ago using Easy Store. Our first year sales online was really, really bad. It was less than 2,000 ringgit. But as of May, which was last month, it generated 50% of our company's revenue. But this sudden spike was also contributed by movement control order in Malaysia when people were forced to shop online. And we were lucky because we had our e-commerce website up and ready to go. So arriving at this milestone comes with a lot of testing as well as learning along the way. We find digital marketing and e-commerce world a really complicated one. So we chose to focus on these three biggest questions and find ways to continuously better understand our online buyers. So with the help of our friend, we started understanding the data that we have online. And one very helpful tool is Google's Data Studio, as it allowed us to visualize the information about our online buyers' behavior. And that also guided us to make better marketing as well as business decisions online. So for the purpose of this webinar, I'll focus on our different lead channels and how we've been trying to improve our users' experience. A lot of these efforts were actually intensified during the movement control order period. So since our website is our main e-commerce hub, we've been doing a lot of adjustments here and there. And one of the most recent things that we did was to analyze our users' behavior on our website using this free tool called Hotjar. So as you can see on this visual heat map, it helped us to visualize how our users were interacting with our website, the sort of information that mattered to them, and also the products that were more popular. So from there, we made minor adjustments to our website. So as you can see, when you go to our website, you land on this page and there is a beautiful bowl of black rice in front of you. So we made slider image more appealing, and it also directly relates to the products that we were selling. Previously, it was just a very beautiful landscape picture of paddy fields, but people had to think a little bit more what is going on in this image. We also shifted the hierarchy of information as well. So on the top bar where you see where the FAQ link is, previously it was a blog link, and we realized people weren't really interested in reading blog articles, but when we put the FAQ link on top, it made a lot of sense to our users. We recently also adopted a more descriptive call to actions. So if you see the button that says, tell me more, previously it just says products. So it's all these little adjustments that we are making on the website. And this is a screenshot from our product page. We recently also introduced Chinese copy to our website. It's a little bit subtle, but you'll find the necessary information on the product pages as well as a link in our FAQ. So this was necessary as we saw, as we were gaining traction amongst Chinese-speaking users, and we tried to make the experience a little bit more easier for them as well. Some other fun things that we did is we adopted a bright yellow add to cart button. This is also because we learned that the right colors motivates action for the users. So we're trying this out. We also use this plugin where users can reach out to us through Facebook Messenger within the website. So it helps with customer service on our end as well. So we've been optimizing our website a lot, but how do we actually bring traffic to our website? We predominantly engage with our users on 3 different social media platforms. First is Facebook, WhatsApp, and then Instagram. So I'd like to share with you some tips, or rather recent findings that we found useful for these 3 different channels. In May, 12% of our e-commerce sales was directly contributed by just tagging products on Facebook. So if you don't already know this, please start tagging your products when you put up a relevant post on your Facebook page. So if you see in this example, it's a post of us receiving rice at our warehouse, and we tag the post with products, Langit's products. And this helps to create a call to action for the users, sending traffic to our website. If you don't add on this feature, people will just continue to scroll, and it doesn't invoke any other curiosity beyond just looking at the post. So we found this really helpful, and it leads to conversion, so why not? This is for WhatsApp and Instagram. We've been testing out some new features that's newly released by Easy Store. So for WhatsApp, we actually get a lot of offline orders that still comes through this channel. And for our customers, with the new WhatsApp order form, it really simplifies and shortens the sales process, especially when some of them are less tech savvy, because the interface is really simple to use and you don't have to go to the actual website to fulfill the entire shopping process. For Instagram, we've been waiting to use the product tagging feature, but it's still not available to us just yet. Now, with this Instagram storefront feature, it actually mimics the experience of being on Instagram, and we can now extend that look and feel and also the option to our Instagram users. So we think that this is amazing. So it may seem like a lot of work and there's a lot to manage, but every move we make to simplify the user experience counts. And the best part of this is that all the orders that we get from all these different channels is collated in one place on our Easy Store platform. So in terms of operations, it's very easy for us to monitor everything on a bird's eye view. So user experience aside, during this movement control order period, we also tested with bundling of products. I have to say that they were hits and misses. The DIY meal kit didn't do too well. It was a really fun kit that you can cook at home. And we also collaborated with 2 local brands to make it happen. So it was a good product. However, our launch timing was really bad, as it coincided with the conditional movement control order announcement made by our Prime Minister. So by then, it became a little bit irrelevant. People were very busy preparing to get back to work. Some people were already planning where would they eat out next. So a bit of a shame with this product, but yeah, so we learned from that. On the other hand, we also had more successful product, I would say. So we did a rice subscription campaign, and we offered 3 different packages that users can purchase. And we had a very good take-up rate for this. We also saw an increase in our repeat buyers' purchases. So by providing new product offerings and also bundles, we created excitement amongst our current and also new users, bringing them to interact further on our website. So this pandemic period has really escalated our learning in the e-commerce sector and also digital marketing space. So what's next for us? These are the 3 areas that we are looking to explore further in our e-commerce journey, as well as creating greater value to our customers. First on our list is subscriptions, because nothing really beats the value of bringing convenience to the customers. So we are still fine-tuning the sort of product offerings that we can offer to them. Second is product bundling, because it's a really fun way to just collaborate with other brands as well. It increases our brand visibility and, more importantly, creates added value back to our customers. So if you're looking for a meaningful collaboration, let's connect after this. And third, we would definitely be looking to sell beyond Malaysia through e-commerce. So this would be a low barrier to entry into a foreign market. And yes, we would also love to learn from those who have experience in this area. So e-commerce is definitely looking like an exciting space for us to grow further as we move into the next stage. So by now you've seen how we utilize data from the village and then extending our experiences to sell online. From here, we will now close the loop to create a more seamless experience for our customers. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's an initiative that we just launched yesterday. So this is Footprints, Langit's pilot traceability initiative. You can try to scan the QR code or take a screenshot and test it out later. So the next time our buyer buys a brick of Langit rice, either offline or online, they can scan a simple QR code and learn more about where their food comes from. So on your left, you'll see some of the information that you can get from scanning the QR code. And this will continue to be expanded as we gather more information on the ground and also try to create more value to our customers. So you may ask, why does this matter? This is our effort to ensure food safety and also the authenticity of our product to our consumers. Knowing where your food comes from helps to create a deeper connection with the producers, and this is how we can all participate in creating a more sustainable food ecosystem as well. I would say the biggest bonus of having footprints is to help consumers visualize the impact that they make with every single purchase. So that's it. That's our village to online journey. So far, it has been both challenging as well as exciting as we discover new things every single day. If you're a business owner who's just considering to go online, sometimes it's best to maybe just ignore the noise and do what makes sense to your business based on data that you have. I hope you've enjoyed this session and you have some key takeaways from this as well. So thank you again for your time. I'm Melisa Lim from Langit Collective. If you'd like to connect, here are my contact details. So
Absolutely.
Back to you.
Thank you. And of course, absolutely. Melisa is open to collaboration. So if you'd like to collaborate with Langit Collective, you know where to contact her. Melisa, you can actually just leave your contact details on screen for anyone who is interested. We have 2 questions right now. So guys, if you have any more questions regarding her topic, keep them coming, but don't forget to leave them in the Q&A box. Our first question is, yes, social media is a good platform to bring in traffic for websites. But besides social media, do you have any other methods that can bring traffic to our website? Any suggestions for newbies that just have their own website?
So for this, I would say social media is still the best place to bring traffic to your website, because everyone is already online, so you don't have to educate people to go online. So it sort of reduces that barrier to entry. And what we try to do offline is, now that we have footprints, the QR code, that is also how we can bring more offline users to go online. But I would say that social media is a low-hanging fruit, and it's a good way to start.
And I think it's also easily accessible to anyone and everyone out there, and it's free, so you might as well utilize it. Instead of course, you can still pay for advertisements when you have the budget, or if you have the budget. But I think what Melissa's trying to say is that it's free, so you might as well utilize it anyway. So I hope that answers your question. Our next question is, did the WhatsApp order form help to get a lot of business leads?
Okay. So for the WhatsApp order form, we don't use it as a business lead generation just yet. We are still testing it out. But what we use it for is when we have people who engage with us via WhatsApp, especially people who are not so digital savvy, we use that form to either take the order ourselves, fill it in for them, or second, we send that link to the user and then they can fulfill it on their end. So for us, it's really just simplifying that order taking process and then collating all the information on one platform rather than having things that you jot on your notes and then you lose it, or sending messages to your teammates. So this is really just simplifying that entire process. And yes, we do have a sizable order that comes in from this order form as well.
Okay. Our next one is from Catherine. Now, Catherine would like to know, you mentioned an application Hotjar or something that has a heat map of the site. Could you clarify what the name of that app is again?
Yeah, so I think Catherine got the spelling right. It is called Hotjar. Yeah, just Google it. They have a paid version as well as the free version. So of course, we use the free version. So go ahead.
Okay, Catherine, I hope that answers your question. Our next question is, can you share some tips for entrepreneurs or business owners to improve their business? Because starting a business is very easy. The difficulty is keeping it a good business.
Yeah. This is a very challenging question. I think every business or every entrepreneur would have this question in mind. So for us, at least, I think our vision and mission is very obvious and very clear. So we always stay to why we're doing what we're doing. So that is the biggest driver and also the mouthpiece that people who support us can use as well. And another thing that we learn is to have your minimum viable audience. So you don't have to please and market to everyone. You just need that first, let's say, 100 or 200 customers who really believe in what you do, and you gain their support, and that is how you will grow. So yeah, look for that tribe that will support you, your super loyal fans, and then they will actually help to grow your business in ways that you cannot imagine. Yeah,
I think that's very true.
Question.
I think it does. Now, Melissa, you just mentioned the word tribe, and that got me thinking. You said earlier in your presentation that you all come from different walks of life. So tell us a little bit about that. How does it work cohesively? Because, like you told us, I've actually heard your presentation before. That's why I know this. But to everyone else who's watching, tell us how that works cohesively.
Yeah. So, I guess we are lucky that things happen quite naturally for us. So for those who don't know, the four of us co-founders come from very diverse backgrounds. So for example, I have a bit of experience in media production. Yong Ling, our tech guy, he came from an ad agency background, but he's also a very DIY man. So he learned like more the engineering and tech stuff on his own. Z is, he once was in the actuary, he was an actuary. So very finance guy, but now he's working in the farm. He spends 6 months in a year at the field. Our CEO, Lillian, was a chiropractor, and then now she's leading the company. So what brought all of us together was because we worked first as colleagues in a non-profit. And I think during that time, we shared a lot of similar values, and also we are driven by the same purpose. So values and purpose really became the binding factor for our team. And because we had that shared value, a lot of other things we didn't really have to spell it out. We will just look for ways to bring our skill sets together to move things forward. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Okay. So guys, if you have more questions, just keep them coming. Our next one is, do you have any marketing tools to recommend or introduce for us to get more leads?
We are a bit slow in this aspect. So we have not really been exploring, we have not really explored using marketing tools in lead generation just yet. So we newly ventured into purchasing Facebook ads. So that is one way that we are generating lead. The most effective one so far is really word of mouth. So if you are able to get your current users or people who really supports you, your biggest fan, to speak more a little bit about you and try to make connections, we find those are a lot more valuable than leads, the cold leads that you generate on your own.
Right, right. So Melissa, I'm not sure if you covered this earlier, but what is your demographic like? What's your target audience like?
Our target audience varies a lot. But right now we're seeing a pattern in the slightly older segment of female. So those within the age of 35 and above, usually they would be family setting, and they purchase our products mainly for the health reasons, and also people who are aspiring to move towards a certain kind of lifestyle. Yeah, and we do get also younger audiences, so those below the age of 35. So they usually buy our products maybe for their family members or even as gifts. So yeah, we have our products as a staple, but there are also people who buy it as gifts.
Is that a truck I hear in the background?
Oh yeah.
I hear beeping. It's nice to know that the orders are still going on, coming in. I thought something was wrong. I heard beeping all of a sudden. But okay, I think that was a very nice thing to elaborate on. Now, we talked a lot, yesterday we talked a little bit about failure. Now, I know this is a bit of a touchy topic for some people because most of the time we talk about success, and that's like the one thing we like to focus on. But I know you mentioned earlier that you did encounter failure because like the sales in the beginning was it less than 2,000 in the first year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you overcome that? What kind of mindset do you have to overcome that kind of failure? Because obviously, you're laying the brickwork to, push yourself forward because pressure does make diamonds. So if you could elaborate a little bit more on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I guess we do face a lot of failures or things that don't go the way that we plan. But I think what helps is all four of us have this shared mindset that we won't dwell too much into all the negative or the failing part, because we are very focused on the end goal that we need to achieve. So we see failures more as, okay, if you need to get to one destination, there is many different paths to take it. So if one road is blocked, then just move on and try different paths to get there. Because we feel that a lot of our work, we are also running against time. Like I mentioned earlier, we exist because we want to bring value to our farmers. And our farmers is an aging community, so we cannot sulk on a problem too much, because we need to bring good solutions, sustainable solutions fast enough to our community to let them see that, okay, this model could work. So yeah, so just look for people who will support you. There will be many around. Don't dwell onto the failures and the problems too much. And I think it's really important to have a very strong team and one that really supports each other, because you can, and that's how you can weather like the storm out there. If not, if you're a one-man show, then it's going to be a little bit difficult. Please go look for your support team. Yeah.
I think that's very nice advice. So do you carry the same mentality when it comes to burnout? Because I think like people experience burnout a lot more often than they would like to admit. So do you still carry that same mentality forward with that as well?
Yeah, I think burnout is a very real situation, especially when teams are bootstrapping. So for us, we don't have an answer to handling burnout. We are also figuring this as we go. But now we are a little bit more aware. We know when we see the signs of burnout, then we'll tell our team members, okay, maybe you should go take a break, take a couple of days off and do something that makes you happy. So we've grown to be a little bit more aware of each other's situation as well, and also verbalizing all these frustrations. Sometimes when we are moving fast or chasing something really hard, we forget to check in into each other. So having that safe space to say, okay, guys, I really need a break, before I break. So that really helps. And yes, we were just learning as well how to deal with things like burnout.
And I think also addressing it together as a team, it just kind of builds your trust. It makes like you said, it's a safe space to talk about it. And I think that this generation has been programmed by generations before that. We have to be so strong about it. We shouldn't be talking about it. And I think that makes it so difficult for most of us to address it when it actually happens. And it's not a good thing, because the thing is, the fact is, everybody experiences burnout, and we should be allowed to express it and talk about it. And that's the only way we actually overcome it. And now, Melisa, I don't think we have any more questions for now, so I'm just going to leave you with one last one. How did you come up with the name Langit Collective, and what does it stand for? Because I didn't ask you that the last time, so I'm going to ask you that now.
All right. So the four of us actually have given Lun Bawang names. So Lun Bawang is the indigenous community that we serve in the rice farming villages. So we spent a lot of time in one of the village in our earlier years, and we have sort of like a adopted family or a keluarga angkat, and they gave us very local Lun Bawang names. So my local Lun Bawang name is Bulan, which is the moon. Yongling is Udan, which is the rain. And then Xiang is Acho, the sun. And then Lilian's Lun Bawang name is Gituan, the star. So
wow.
They are all elements from the sky. And sometimes when we go back to the villages, people would say, oh, anak-anak langit sudah balik. So, the children of the sky has returned. So when we needed a name, it became very natural. We call ourselves Langit, which is the sky. And I think this name really just reminds us of why we started Langit. And, if anything happens, we just go back to the base of it all, we exist because we serve the communities there, and we shouldn't do anything that deviates away from that purpose. So
I think that was so beautiful. I wouldn't have known that unless I asked you. And I think like maybe next time when you do a presentation, you should include that as well. I think it's a really nice addition. But yeah, we can end our session now because I've got a little briefing to do. But Melisa, thank you so much. I thought it was beautiful. And guys, if you have any more questions, just go ahead and contact her. Melisa, just leave your contact details in the comments. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Once again, have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a nice day too.
All right. Bye, Melisa. See you.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.